Hello. Can you all hear me? Please write something so I know if you can hear me, if the voice is clear. And we'll wait another minute or so to see if you can hear me and let other people join in. Is the voice clear? So Muniba is online. Hi Muniba, can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay, if you can hear me, then I'll just wait another minute and let more people join in, because I think we're on time. It's 3:30, and I'll just start with my intro and everything, okay? Okay, great. I'll just give me a minute, let more people join in, and then, maybe we can start this live session. Okay, great. Okay. And you all are saying that you all can hear me. And you can hear me perfectly. Okay, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Let's just wait another minute and see how many people log in. And once more people are logged in, we can just start with the session, and hopefully an interactive session. So I have questions coming in, and I can answer them, and I can talk about my inspiration and the journey that led to writing this book. Just, maybe half a minute more for more people to log in. And if you've logged in, please do write something, a hi or a hello, so we can see you and we can see that you are actually a part of this. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let's start. My name is Hina Shamsi, and I'm the author of this book called The Quintessential Fat Girl, Beautiful is Not a Size. It's a social satire which I have just written last year, and it was published this year in January, and is available at Liberty stores. Now, when Liberty asked me to sort of write about my inspiration and what led to the writing of this book, I was actually taken aback. I don't know, I think I'm a author by accident. So the inspirational story has its own twists and turns, and I'm really an author by accident. I used to write for an educational website. They used to ask me to write articles related to education, and since I'm an educationist myself, for the past 10 years I've been teaching at a business school. So it was, by default that I used to write about that. Though writing about educational issues, I had a passion for writing about social issues. And whenever I would rant about a social issue, I would get a very good feedback via people telling me, okay, write more, write more. So I think that ranting somehow led to writing this book. This book was published in Pakistan by my publisher Aurak Publications. And it was everything was done in Pakistan. The cover, everything is just it's a pure Pakistani book. When I say I'm a writer by accident, I think one fine afternoon when I was probably upset about something, or observed something and I wanted to rant about it, I ended up writing a few pages, and then I found myself for another 2 weeks writing more and more and more, and a story was forming. This is a fiction book. It is a satire, so it's funny. And I somehow was, when I was writing, a story was forming. I was very lucky that it was published. It was not supposed to be published. It was a collection of many different incidents, observations, and Allah has been very kind. I was lucky enough that it got published, and I am so blessed that it got published and it got reviewed in the News and the Dawn, both leading newspapers of Pakistan. So touch wood, very lucky, alhamdulillah. The response has been absolutely amazing by my readers. I am again very thankful for the kind of response they've given to this book. Actually, for a first-time writer, there are many things that you're learning on the way. You're trying to learn things while you're working. Or क्योंकि Pakistan में we don't have any schools where you can actually go and learn how to be a novelist. So most of the learning and most of the journey of any author in Pakistan is through reading and through figuring it out yourself. So my journey is somehow similar, but the turning point in my writing was that I was doing a workshop at Indus Valley for writing, and I met a lovely Pakistani author called Nadia Rahman. She's the author of the book True Lies, and she was all about her book and how she got it published, and Mahesh Bhatt had commented, and I was very excited. And I remember going up to her and scared and telling her that, I've written something as well, but I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I have no idea how it's going to be published. I don't know anybody in the publishing industry. It's my first attempt. She told me one thing. She said, Hina, go finish your first draft, and then we'll see how things work out. Once you finish your first draft, things are going to fall into place. So I took that advice and I went home, and for the next 2 weeks I was just sitting in front of the computer, writing and finishing the story. So when she said finish your first draft, I actually thought there's going to be one draft. I mean, I'm going to write this amazing masterpiece, and but pride had its fall. And when I was writing, when I was compiling this book, actually there were so many drafts. So the actual effort was to find out which one is correct. I had written so many different drafts, and she was actually correct. Finish your first draft, and I went into my second and third and fourth. And when I was actually at the end of the day compiling this book, I was so shocked. I've written so much, and I was actually surprised to see I've written so much. And then the tedious task was to actually find out which is the best draft. So this is basically through learning. And when I was compiling all the drafts together, I was in desperate need to sort of learn the techniques or the syntax of the trade. Ironically, no help was provided. In Pakistan, there are no schools, there are no institutes where you could go to. So I started reading a lot of fiction writers, randomly picking up fiction books just to learn through trial and error, perhaps. So that is, my little story, my little journey of this book. Finally, The Quintessential Fat Girl, alhamdulillah, out. It was out in January, so it's been few months, 2-3 months. And then in March, we were sadly hit by the pandemic. The ironical pandemic, which has halted and stopped everything around. But alhamdulillah, this year started off with publication of my debut book, The Quintessential Fat Girl. Now, many people have asked me many questions, and I am taking this opportunity to sort of use this platform to answer those questions. Now, those questions were regarding, many things. Like the most common question that I'm asked is that, why cupcakes? I mean, seriously, why cupcakes? They say we have not seen a fiction book that has food on it. We've seen cookbooks that have food on it, but we've not seen a fiction book that has food on it. So why cupcakes? I don't know. I think there's a whole psyche behind a cupcake, is that if you're cutting a slice from a cake, it's either too big or it's too small. A cupcake is just full in itself, and it's extremely tempting also. I think the reason to put a cupcake on top of my first debut book was was just to attract attention and the wholeness of a cupcake, I thought was very sweet. Now, another thing that many people have DM'd me and they've asked me when the book was launched was that, is it only for the Desi audience? I don't know why they asked me that. I think maybe because the book has a lot of Minglish words in it. Maybe that is the reason they are asking me this. I don't know why. They said, oh, is it only for the Desi audience? I don't know why they're asking, but many have asked this question. Now, no, this book was actually released on Amazon 2 months before it was published in Pakistan. So I didn't think it would be for Desi audience, but I don't know why people tend to think so. And the fact that I have used a few Urdu words here and there, Roman actually words here and there, is not because I want to cater to the Desi audience or only to Pakistanis, because I feel that the world is a global village now. There's so much polarization taking place. And language is not just a means of communication. It is an inbuilt or inherent worldview. I mean, if you're putting your language out there, you're actually inviting a viewpoint. You're not only limiting yourself to a particular audience, but you're actually inviting a viewpoint that is out there. And I can say that now, because 10 years back, did we think that we would be watching Turkish disease and reading the subtitles and enjoying it, or K-pop, you know, the Korean pop culture with Gangnam Style and their software, TikTok? We never thought we'd be using that. But since world, it's so evident that polarization is taking place, that we're all, the cultures and languages are so intermingled together. So I don't see any reason to feel that it's limiting the audience. I think I'm just maybe extending my language. And sometimes jokes are a lot funnier in a particular language, and when you translate them, they're not funny anymore. So if I have used a few words of my language, it is my way of having my language out there, because English is such a widely understood language. Everybody understands it, and it has a greater approach than any other language. So if you're putting a bit of your language here and there, you're probably, you know, giving way to your viewpoint. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So that was the thought behind it. I thought I'd just take this opportunity to clear this up. Now, when this book was written, it is actually, those of you who've read it, it's actually written in a format of a diary, like a diary of a person who goes through different incidents in her life, and she highlights certain social antagonists. Now, and obviously there is a bit of humor in both English and Urdu. Now, the book predominantly is about body shaming. In fact, many kinds of shaming I've tried my best to highlight in this book. And obviously, the tsunami that has taken over the world, the fitness tsunami that has sort of taken over the world, and everybody is only talking about how fit you are or how pretty you look. That tsunami is obviously sort of satirically discussed in this book also. Now, when I say that I've written about the social antagonist, by no means do I want to lecture anyone. It's only that I want to highlight. But I also feel that highlighting an antagonist is sort of not enough. You need to give emotions attached to those antagonists. So those of you who've read the book, and I encourage those of you who have not, please, it's available at Liberty bookstores. The protagonist, Zoe. This book is about, it's a coming of an age book. It's about a 40-year-old woman, not a girl, a 40-year-old woman, Zoe, who's been body shamed practically all her life, and she notices certain antagonists in the society. Now, when she's noticing these antagonists, she is feeling an urge to talk about them, and there are feelings attached at the end of every chapter. Sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's very happy, sometimes she's confused herself. So those feelings are attached to every antagonist that is being highlighted in the book. Also, she is a bit of a butterfly also, you know. I think we all are. When we are in a certain environment of friends, or if we're going out, we want to have that little social butterfly kind of an image. We want to have a nice phone, we want to have a nice bag, especially for women. So I think she's not absolutely a butterfly, but she has her phases of being angry and being a butterfly and being emotional and being sad. So the entire book is basically about the emotions that Zoe sort of faces in different situations. And also the fact that Zoe is fighting a battle of her own, which is sort of, the book is all about her battle, her weight battle, let's say. And she wants to help other people as well. She wants to help other people. So emotions, being happy, being sad is very common. I think we all go through those emotions of being happy and being sad and being upset. So similarly, the protagonist in the book, Zoe, goes through all those emotions. She's a mother, she has her challenges at motherhood, she's a wife, she's a daughter. So all those emotions that anybody feels, I've tried my best actually to highlight them in this book. I have been extremely lucky, and I've received some amazing response from my readers. I was actually surprised to see the response they have given me, and I am amazed to see the response that I'm still getting, and the kind of love that they have sort of showered me with. It is absolutely amazing. The kind of response I have gotten is that I've had people DM me by saying that we usually don't read English books, but your book, we picked it up because the cover was very interesting, and then when we read it, we understood. So it is such an honor to see people stepping out of their comfort zone of reading and picking up a book which is not in their comfort zone, or it's something different. So I'm very thankful to all my readers and all those book enthusiasts, my Insta family, for their amazing feedback and the reviews and everything. I'm so happy and I'm so honored, and I'm so humbled and honored by the response that I've sort of received. Now the book here that I'm talking about is, since it's my first experience, so I'm not going to compare it with anything else, but it has a different narrative. At least that's what the feedback that I received. I know people have told me that it's a different narrative because it talks about it has a spiritual aspect as well, and many have sort of asked me, why do I need to sort of have a spiritual aspect in a fiction book, because spirituality exists in only spiritual books. Why do I need to have spiritual elements in a book that is purely fictitious or funny or a satire or anything like that? I actually don't agree with it completely. I think that every story needs to have many dimensions. So you cannot be funny all the time and you cannot be angry all the time. You have these phases in your life. You're either funny at a moment, you're angry, then you're spiritual as well. So whatever spiritual narrative that is present in the climax of the book is actually how I think we human beings are. We are spiritual beings, and we want to we find solace in spirituality. So there's nothing wrong in having a bit of spirituality in a fiction book, and a book that is a bit funny also. I think it's absolutely okay. What else? I will read something from the book to give you an idea. I have highlighted a few parts. Okay, this is one of my favorites. When the protagonist Zoe is going through her journey of weight loss, she's trying many different diets as well, like the famous keto diet that everybody is so, ha-ha about. So the book, so there's a chapter that's called the Evil Carbs, and you can see there's a small caricature with a devil holding a fork, and I'll just read a bit from here. Late at night, unable to sleep, I Google more about keto to find out that it requires one to count the number of macrons consumed. How to calculate macrons is my next search. To calculate macrons, from first you need to know how many calories you eat each day. Next, determine your ideal ratio, and then multiply your total daily calories to your percentage. Finally, divide calorie amounts by its calorie per gram number. I read the above thrice, trying to figure out what it actually means. Failing miserably in math at school, I wonder if I am still eligible to do keto. I feel so cranky. What is it? It is not that time of the month. What is it then? I take in that I'm having withdrawal symptoms. I miss having carbs. I'm missing carbs. Oh God, being a carboholic, I totally miss carbs. It's like how some girls only fall for bad boys. Well, carbs are like those bad boys in my story. So this book has its moments of, it has funny elements, which I have tried to discuss, and obviously there's a bit of closure also to her, because she's body shamed. The protagonist is body shamed all her life, and I think that body shaming is a universal issue. It is not an issue of Pakistan or Desis, or it is a universal issue. So you don't need to know a particular language to know that it's body shaming. I think you can understand it in any language. So that is my take. I would love to take any questions. I can see a few hello and hi's. If you want to ask me something, please go ahead, and I'd love to answer those questions. Okay, Farooq is here, and who else is here? Muniba is here. Hi Muniba. And Iras is here, and who else? So, am I still audible? Can you all hear me? Okay, you guys need to write something so I can see if I'm still audible to you all, because I can see a few comments here. God, I'm so technologically challenged, I think now. Okay. I don't know where the comments are. Okay. They're slowly loading. All right. Okay. 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 Okay, great. Another very important or something that is very close to my heart. I've used many quotes in this book. I have not limited this book to one quote. There were many quotes that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to share one with you. Culture stereotypes women to fit the myth by flattening the feminine into beauty without intelligence, or intelligence without beauty. Women are allowed a mind or a body, but not both. That is so true. It's so close to my heart, and it's by Naomi Wolf from the book The Beauty Myth, and I absolutely loved it, and I thought I'll sort of, add a few quotes in the book as well. Okay. Okay, I need to see a few comments, so I'm just going to see where they are. Okay. I want to know if you can. Okay. Okay, great. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, if there are any questions. Okay, there's many questions. How come I'm unable to see them? Okay. Okay, Muniba has asked me, what do you think makes a good story? I think any story that is true will find its readership. The content needs to be true, it needs to be relevant, absolutely relevant, and once the book is true and it's relevant, it will find its own readership. So really, I think that's about it. What else? Sabine, hi Sabine. Sabine has asked me, are you planning to write more books in the future? Of course, I am planning to write more books in the future. I want to write a Muslim fiction, and I want to write a love story, which is absolutely not my genre. I think I suck at love, but I want to give it a try. Yes, definitely. Yes, Sabine, I want to write a love story in future. That is my plan. I want to give it a try. What else? Okay. Farooq has asked me, are you planning to write? Yes, I've just answered that. When is the next book coming? Okay. The next book is coming soon, inshallah. Soon. I don't know how long I will take. I'm working on a project. I don't know how long I will take, but it is in the pipeline. I'm working on it, and hopefully soon, inshallah, soon, I will write about it. And I've gotten a lot of DM messages about young people since I launched my page, asking me about, if okay, what has happened? Can you all still hear me? Okay, yes, okay, sorry. They've asked me that they want to write, but they're scared. I've actually gone through this entire journey of being scared of having my word out there, extremely scared that people are going to judge me. It is but natural. But I was watching a masterclass by Margaret Atwood, and she said that, so what if you're going to write a bad book? Start with writing a bad book. Seriously, start with writing something bad. And I would rather write something that is not that great and climb my way up the ladder and write something remarkable than just sit in anticipation and not write at all. So those of you who've messaged me, those young authors who've messaged me, asking me about they're scared to write, or they're not focused enough to write, please give it a try. It holds true for anything creative. Any form of creativity that you do, you need to give it a try. And to human is to fault. You will have your share of failures, you will have your share of disappointments, and it's absolutely okay. You will learn that way. I think in my book, I've received a lot of love, I've received some criticism as well, which is absolutely okay. And that criticism has enabled me to learn the tricks of the trade. I am now doing more courses, online courses, to learn my craft. And it's absolutely okay to make a few mistakes and learn from them. There's nothing wrong in that. We're all human. So those of you who are asking me questions about failure, it's okay, I think. Really, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. What else? Okay, I need to see. Yes. Okay. What else? We only have 3 minutes left. So if you guys want to ask me something, or I'll share something very important, my ending notes about the book. Okay. One thing that I'm very proud of, and it is such a recent realization that we all are having these days, is I've talked about mental health in this book, and how important it is, and how we have certain taboos attached to mental health. Many of you think that it's a recent realization. I've written it last year, the book, so I am very proud that I've talked about mental health. And the climax of the story is sort of around a mental health issue of not the protagonist, but someone very dear to her. So I just want to say, in times like these, when we are locked in our houses by our own free will, and we have no choice but to stay where we are and to follow certain rules, and we want to go out and we want to meet people, and we are basically social animals, which we are not getting to meet people, our loved ones, and we're all very depressed. I want to take this opportunity to highlight that mental health is very important. I'm so glad that I highlighted this issue in my book. It is so important to be sane up here, to be able to do your duties at the optimum. Seriously, if you have any difficulty, I would like to take this opportunity to suggest that please go out, get help. There's no shame in getting help. There's no shame in getting a treatment. There's no shame in talking to someone. It's absolutely okay. So really, doesn't matter at all. So mental health, and since I only have a minute or so left, I will just share one of the most beautiful quotes by Becca Lee that I've written in my book. And it took cutting back the prettiest parts of myself to finally realize that this shell does not define me, for I am so much more than the flesh and bones that case the beautiful tragedies of my heart and mind. So I want to Thank you all for joining me today, for being a part of this small session, for giving me a chance to interact with you all, giving me a chance to tell you my side of the story, and share a bit of my book. Thank you so much, and a big thank you to my readers for their amazing support. And I want to take this opportunity to show you something. I am probably the only author who has introduced her own book candles. I used to see book candles of authors, foreign authors like Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice has some amazing book candles. And I think a good written book is something that ignites all your senses, and if it can activate your sense of smell, then I think there's nothing more great than that. So thank you everyone. I think my 30 minutes are up. It was lovely being live with you all, and thank you for leaving in your questions. Thank you so much. Please stay safe, stay indoors, follow the SOPs if you have to go out, and we're all in this together. Let's hope and pray that we're back to some kind of normalcy soon, or a new normal soon, inshallah. Lovely talking to you. Allah Hafiz.